Hey guys, what's going on? CheatBreaker here. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about this 2019 CheatBreaker release. And this isn't really a real release because this is a leak, but we are going to be covering it just because there's been a lot of discussion about this, whether or not this is safe or not. What are the details surrounding its actual leak? What are the details surrounding, the person who leaked it? Is this safe? And if you actually type in CheatBreaker release into YouTube and actually sort by, videos posted in the past month, you can see all these videos being posted, 2 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, and if you refresh, you're always going to get new ones like facts nudes. 2 hours ago, we have CheatBreaker leak, CheatBreaker release, new CheatBreaker release download, and there's like literally pages upon pages of these, like CheatBreaker offline release, CheatBreaker dev version leak, CheatBreaker is back. CheatBreaker, I got CheatBreaker developer, CheatBreaker leaked. Like, there's literally so many videos, and I'm recording this on the 13th of October, and you'll see this tomorrow, so by then, there's probably going to be even more of these videos just coming out. So, there's, like, videos like this, like CheatBreaker dev version leaked, and there's also, like, CheatBreaker release real, not clickbait. So, basically, what ended up happening is back when CheatBreaker was released originally, back in, I think it was 2018 in the summer when they released, it was actually dumped because there's protection on it wasn't very good, and people actually got access to the source code of CheatBreaker, and that's actually how it's been spread around in these various clients ever since. Regardless, the problem with the CheatBreaker source code is that you couldn't run it without the assets, and in order to get the assets, a few people compiled them and basically put them into something where they could essentially run CheatBreaker again, and the people who did that were Manny and this guy named Stroked Ketchup, who also goes by Strong Flex. So these are the people who actually put the assets into CheatBreaker, or like fix the assets or whatever to make it run, because as I said before, obviously it could not run without the assets. Oh, and something really briefly, this version of CheatBreaker is actually offline, so any online thing like friends settings or the anti-cheat or anything will actually not work. So if someone says that they're legit because they're playing on CheatBreaker, you probably shouldn't believe them because there's no anti-cheating in it, and I don't see anyone getting banned on CheatBreaker for using this version. Manny says you can join his Discord to download it. Stroked Ketchup actually gives a link right here. However, there's other people who claim to have done this, such as No TV. However, I believe that this link is much sketchier. I would personally not download it from this guy because he advertises autoclickers and stuff, and also autoclickers that DDoS people apparently. So yeah, we're just gonna not download it from this guy. I highly recommend against that. If you really want it, I highly recommend it from this Stroked Ketchup guy or Manny, because I personally trust both of them. I think that this is probably a safe download link. However, I don't believe that the other links are safe. There's been some rumors floating around that they're actually ratted, that it's a virus or it's going to steal your passwords or whatever. Just stay very safe. Be wary of any illegitimate download links, because it is very dangerous, considering that you have to give it admin permissions to run it and stuff like that. It can do a lot of damage to your computer, considering the level of information it can gather from your computer, like passwords and more than that, credit card information, literally anything from your computer that you wouldn't want out there, people can probably get by giving you a ratted CheatBreaker. And I'm sure that there are versions of it out there that are not safe. I can't 100% guarantee, obviously, that Manny's version is safe, but I personally trust him. I think if you want it, get it from him. But we also want to look at what J-Halt has actually said about this, because he made a tweet: have received many messages from people asking if they would be sued for using a leaked version of CheatBreaker. The answer is no, but you do so at your own risk of it potentially being a virus or a rat. It is not supported or endorsed by us whatsoever. See cheatbreaker.com/security. And obviously Manny replies, he goes, my version doesn't have any rats in there. However, others might potentially have it. And people are saying, why don't you just release it? You should just release it. Everyone's basically saying that CheatBreaker should just come out again. But I personally think CheatBreaker is done. I think it's been replaced with Lunar, which is essentially the same thing, just on a different server and whatnot, not Mine HQ. It's on Lunar Network. So we're going to click right over here onto the security advisory. And J-Hole basically sums this up by saying, CheatBreaker is not available to the public. We do not have paid versions of CheatBreaker, nor do we provide means for anyone to obtain it for real money. If someone is trying to sell you CheatBreaker, it's a scam. And believe it or not, guys, it seems like Zooey is actually selling CheatBreaker. So that actually, go figure. J-Halt's literally just talking about right now how if you sell CheatBreaker, it's a scam, which it probably wasn't. He probably did actually have access to it, but it's public now, so don't buy it, obviously. And then J-Hill talks about how real CheatBreaker files are cryptographically signed and timestamped. This guarantees that the files you're running actually come from us. When you run a legitimate CheatBreaker executable, you will see that the file is signed by CheatBreaker LLC. So you can see right here, it says verified publisher, CheatBreaker LLC. And right here it says this certificate is intended for the following purpose, and it gives you a specific hash. If you go to the details section right here, there's a specific serial number and a fingerprint. And if it does not have the signature, then it is not there. So do not use it if it does not have that signature. And he also talks about how if people are using it or distributing it using it to distribute viruses, they have to email cheatbreaker.com with all the relevant details. And yeah, so that's pretty much the deal. This is not an official release. I think that this isn't really going to cause much. I don't think CheatBreaker is going to come back anytime soon. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Once again, I advise against downloading this unless you really want to. And if you really want to, download it from the link from Manny, please. That is the most reliable link. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.